assumes you are in class, the break time, the teaching and learning period. That's the 8 hours of learning within the day. Then 3 hours of personal study and prep time. Personal study and prep time. So I don't know how your prep time is arranged, but then you need to have time to study personally. You have time, maybe if you want to have a group study with people, you have time for that. And I hope there's no Muslim here so that I can move on to talk about what I want to talk about. Is there any Muslim around? Okay, so now I can move on to talk about it. 30 minutes time with God. So you cannot be successful in this life if you don't have God. Do you get it? You cannot be successful in this life if you don't have God. And I know when you are in school, it's very difficult to go and kneel down, pray in tongues, do all those. You get what I mean? But try and have some 30 minutes with God. And the 30 minutes doesn't necessarily have to be at a goal. You see how Muslims pray 5 times in a day? They have scheduled times. You can do the same thing. So maybe 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, 10 minutes in the evening. How many minutes is that? I can't hear you. So it cuts across, you get it. You realize that you're having time for yourself, for your books, for your friends, for your God time. It's very important. It's very paramount. Then we move on to 20 minutes personal time. The personal time can be used to snack. You can use that personal time to eat your snacks. Or you can use that personal time to maybe write some notes down, write your schedule for the day, plan how you're going to go about your day. So let me tell you what I used to do in school. We wake up at 5. So I was a prefect, so I was privileged. I wasn't working. I moved from 5. I finished bathing and dressing up by 5:15. I get to my class at 5:20. Between 5:20 and 5:40, I use that time to do my quiet time and then I pray. When it's 5:45, I go and inspect the working places for my colleagues. And then when it's 6, they traffic for morning assembly. Yes. So the time that they are doing the trafficking, that was the time that I was using as my personal time to reflect on the things maybe I thought about during the night, during the day, what I'm going to tell my teacher, in case I'm in trouble, how I'm going to vibe my teacher or my lecturer so that they are not going to punish me. Do you understand? Now let's move to, these are the few things I wrote down for us to take note of. So you're going to say it after me. Laziness travels fast, that poverty overtakes it. Laziness travels fast, that poverty overtakes it.
Laziness travels fast, that poverty overtakes it.
So what do you understand by laziness travels fast and poverty overtakes it? Anyone, protocol team, guest of honors, students, MCs, lecturers? What do you understand? Oh, I should call Emmanuel again. Do you have a crazy? A Sunday born? Who's a Sunday born here? So you're AC. AC now. What's your name? I can't hear you. Please take out the news. Annabelle Etonam. Okay. When I say laziness travels fast, that poverty overtakes it, what do you understand by it?
I think it means that when laziness takes over, it's hardly to get rid of it, and when it grows, you always procrastinate, and then all the things you set aside to do, you begin to push them into the future, then poverty takes over.
I hope you heard what she said. Did you hear what she said? Okay, so then let's move on. Time waits for no man. Time wasted cannot be retrieved. Time cannot be conserved. There's time for everything, and procrastination is the thief of time. The summary of all that is what I said, that laziness travels fast, that poverty overtakes it. So let's look at this this thing I found somewhere. It's that when you are young, you have time, you have energy, but you don't have money. Anyone begs to differ? When you are young, you have time, you have energy, but you don't have money. When you are an adult, you have energy, you have money, but no time. But when you are old, you have the time, you have the money, but you don't have the energy. Do you understand what I mean? Is it self-explanatory, or you want me to explain to you? So let me give you a typical explanation. Let's look at a baby. A baby is born. A baby has all the time in the world, has all the energy, but he's being taken care of by someone, right? You as a young adult, or me as a young adult, I have the money, right? I have the energy, but I don't have time, because I'm supposed to be doing things over and over again. I have to go to work, I have to go to school, I have to call my parents, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that. Do you get it? So I don't have the time or the luxury of time to say, oh, I want to do a lot of things. Then let's look at our grandparents. They have a lot of money, right? They have a lot of time, right? But they don't have energy. It's either they are bedridden, or they are having any of the diabetes, hypertension, or they can't walk, or they are blind, or they cannot hear. They can't do the things we can do. I've been standing on my feet for a long time. I don't think a 70-year-old can do that. Do you get the phenomenon over here? Okay, so then let's move to the next thing, which talks about academics. The main reason why you came to Sonrise Christian High School is to get a good academic background, to be able to be a perfect or an outstanding human being in society. Okay, so then, like I was saying earlier, have a personal timetable, know your level of saturation. See, let me be very honest with you. When you are tired, stop and sleep. When you're tired of studying, stop and sleep. I don't see the point of learning for 6 hours when you've just been able to, should I say, absorb or grasp, or grasp just about 20% of what you are studying. My saturation level is 3 hours. I cannot go beyond 3 hours. After 3 hours, I'm just reading. I'm not really paying attention to the book. Maybe your saturation level is 2 hours, 30 minutes, 1.5 hours. Do you get it? You should know yourself. As soon as you get tired, you are sleepy, you are yawning, you are hungry, stop learning and do what you have to do so that you be productive. Because you might think, oh, I've learned for 4 hours, but you literally learned just 1 hour and you grasp just like 30 minutes of that 1 hour that you studied. And you go to the exam hall and you're failing and you're asking yourself, why am I failing? I learned for 4 hours. Do you get the theory over here? So when you reach your saturation point, what do you do? When you reach your saturation point, what do you do? Okay, so then let's move to creating study groups. It's not everyone that is very comfortable with study groups, right? But then if you are comfortable with study groups, you try and have a group. So maybe Annabelle, Istinam, right? What's your name? Coming in. What's your name? Aram. So maybe Aram, Estinam, Emmanuel, and then Annabelle. You decide to come together. Oh, we are going to study because there's something she heard in class that you didn't hear. There's something you heard in class that she didn't hear. But when you come together and you learn together, you help yourselves. You get it? And the more you talk about it, the more you preach about it, the more you discuss with your friends, it sticks in your head better. Then we move on to study after each lecture. So let's assume that we had a social studies class today. Okay. If you study, if the lecture starts at, let's say 11 a.m. and you go to prep at 7, if you study social studies, you are grasping 100% of what a lecture taught you. If you study the next day, 80%, 2 days after, 60, 3 days after, 40, 4 days after 20, 5 days after 0. So as the days go by, it reduces by a 20%. So you keep asking yourself, you pile up notes, then you open the notes and you're like, did they ever teach this in class? Does it happen to you? So then from today, when they teach you something in class, you go back and you study it. Now let's move to during exams, study from descending order to ascending order. So let's say you have 7 papers. You start studying the last paper to the last but one, then you come down. So by the time you get to the paper you have tomorrow, it will be a day or two to tomorrow, then it will be fresh in your mind. Then when you're studying for the other courses, it's going to be like a revision. I hope you get it. What I'm saying, it's not all of them that I used it when I was in uni, but then I'm using it now and it's making me a better person. I hope you get it. Then we move on to take a break when you're tired. So I'll pause here, but then take a break when you're tired. When you get to your saturation point, you stop, you sleep, you get some fruits, you get some snacks, you get some good food to eat. If it's home chore that you're bringing to you, eat it, then rest. I hope we are all okay. Okay, so then this is the title of today's presentation, Where to Go? Life after high school. Where do you want to find yourself in the next 5 years? So the story about a young girl who wanted to be a hairdresser, a fashion designer, a detective, a lawyer, and finally a dietitian, that's me. You get it? I had several things I wanted to be in life. I had several, even as I now, I'm like, oh, I want to be an event manager. I want to be an actress. I'm still a bit indecisive, but then I know what I want. I'm focused in life. I know where I want to find myself in the next 5 years. And I didn't get to this stage by flaunting my successes, no. I believe in one policy, Philippians 4:13. Who can tell me what is there? Philippians 4:13. Don't open your Bibles or anything. Philippians 4:13. I'm asking the students, is there any senior amongst you? Sedinam. Is there Sedinam? Semefa. What does Philippians 4:13 tell us? We can't hear you. Exactly. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So, that has been my hallmark. That has been what has kept me. Because you can't do it on your own. You can't just stand up and say, I can't just stand up and say, I'm coming to Sonrise, I'm coming to talk to the students, everybody should know. It doesn't work like that. But then I say to myself, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And there's a part of the Bible that says that God helps those who help themselves. If I was not focused, if I didn't have if I didn't have a goal in life that this is what I want to achieve by age 20, this is what I want to achieve by age 25. If I wasn't focused, do you think God would have helped me? It doesn't mean I never failed. It doesn't mean I never had any bad days, horrible days, days I was so angry, days I wanted to give up because I was too overwhelmed. But then I still put everything together and I was like, I'm going to keep on. I'm going to push on. I'm going to pray on, and I'm going to press on. Okay, so then another thing is make smart goals. The UHAS students would understand why I said make smart goals. There are certain goals when you make, you cannot achieve them. It's like making a goal that I want to be making 5,000 Ghana cedis at age 20. Unless, of course, you are a slave queen or you are a fraud person. But if you want to genuinely gain money at age 20, you will still be in the university. There's no way you can make 5,000 Ghana cedis in your account every month. But you can save about 20 cedis every month. That's realistic, right? That's feasible, right? Exactly. So when I talk about smart goals, you have to be specific with your goals. I want to be a dietitian. I want to be a renal dietitian. I want to be an a pediatrics dietitian. That's a smart, like a specific goal. I'm specific with what I want. I'm telling God that, God, I want to be a dietitian. So I am working towards getting that goal, right? The M is for measurable. Is it measurable? How many years do I need to be a dietitian? Do I need 10 years? Do I need 8 years? The number of times I need to study, the number of classes I need to attend. Is it achievable? Can you achieve the goal of being a dietitian after maybe 5 years? Is it realistic? Is it time bound? I hope you understand what I mean. Every goal you make in life, it has to be smart. It has to pass through all those processes. And you need to take risk as a young adult. You need to take risk. So I took a risk after high school. I had admission to take, and then I had a scholarship to do a course in event management. And I took a risk. I was like, I would go and do the event management and theater art before I start the university. Okay, that's a risk I took. I wasn't really sure whether it will come out the way it came out, but then I'm young. If I take a risk and I fail, I'm not 60 years. I can actually try again. But this time I took the risk and I succeeded, and I got admission into UHAS, and I did what I wanted to do. And I had a priority list. So my priority list is God, my books, my family, then my close circle. Yeah, I'll just end there. So God first, then my books before my family, because your parents will die at a point in time, and then you need to be, if I'm an academic person, so if you're not an academic person and you're an entrepreneur like my entrepreneurs who are also academic people, you can probably put your business as a second thing. Do you get it? But then I put my academics there. Then my family. Family is everything. Your mom, your dad, your brother, and even aside the blood family, everybody here is like family to me. Right? I have my UHAS core family. I have my classmates, those I sat in the same class with. I have my roommate, somebody I stayed in the same room for 4 years with. I have people that I met in school, and they are like family. People that they are like your go-to people. You can go and talk to them anytime you need help, anytime. I'm not talking about monetary help. I'm talking about when you need help, somebody to advise you, somebody to help you out with something. I hope you get what I mean. Now let's move to the very last part, which is my favorite. When they sit, we stand. When they stand, we stand out. When they stand out, we are outstanding. And when they are outstanding, we are what? When they are outstanding, we are what? So this is, if you didn't hear anything I said today, and when they stand, we stand out. When they stand out, we are outstanding. And when they are outstanding, we are the standard. So at this point, I would like us to break ourselves into 5. So photography, bead making, makeup, hairstyling, and social media content creation. Wherever that you find interest in, you can rotate from one place to another. Please, my personals, please join me down here. You can rotate from one place to another. So we would have photography all over. I mean, you can see Michael, you can see Felix, you can see Elom, right? Yes, you can see Elom. You can see the people taking care of the online stuff. And then makeup, there's Pat. Please be upstanding so that they can see your face. We have Pat, then we have Auntie J. Yes, so makeup and hair is going to be together. Makeup and hairstyling is going to be together. So they can take the extreme left. Is that fine for you? Or you can take anywhere you want. Then social media content creation can also take one aspect. That is, Dr. Noel will take care of that. And then Miss Irene would work with Auntie J and Pat. And Selena, RD Selena is going to do the bead work with RD Rachel. Please, are we okay? So we can split now. So whatever questions, no, hold on. If you have any question for me write it down. After this session, then you can ask me, then we get interactive, and then we are good to go.